Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For this teaching video, I'll proceed with the cost part of this particular topic 5. In topic 5, we have about production and cost. So now we would like to see the cost structure from the point of view of short run and long run. Okay, so first of all, let's go with the definition of cost. Cost is the payment for the input that is used in the production process. Before this, when we learn about production, we said that the function to produce output is using two types of input, which is capital and also labor. Okay, and in short run, the capital has had, meaning that it is fixed input, tak berubah kan. While the labor tak ada head ke atas, ada dash tu, meaning that it is a variable input, meaning that the input keep changing as time goes by. This is the short run. While in the long run, F, Q, K and L both don't have head, meaning that both input in the long run are variable inputs. Okay, so now let's see the cost of using these inputs. Cost adalah payment for inputs that is used in the production process. So in the short run, we are using so in the short run, we are using two types of input, which is capital and labor. Because the value of capital is unchanged, that's why the cost will become fixed cost. Cost dia pun akan tetap. You sewa kedai kan, antara example of capital adalah sewa kedai kita kan, tempat kita berniaga. So bulan ni bayar 500, bulan depan mesti 500 juga kan, sebab you ada satu kedai je. Kecuali lah kalau you ada dua kedai, bulan kedua dah bertambah satu lagi kedai, bulan kedua akan jadi 1000. Tapi kita tahu syarat dia untuk short run, this input which is capital ni is unchanged. Kita tak boleh rubah, kita tak boleh nak tambah sewa 2 kedai, 3 kedai, sebab kita ada constraint, which is we don't have much money to add up the fixed input. So that's why the cost of using this input will also become fixed cost. Cost dia akan tetap. So maksudnya as time goes by, if we produce more output, okay, lepas kita dah upah lebih ramai labor kan, seorang labor can produce 10 product. When we hire the second labor can produce, for example, the total outcome for the company is 30. So bertambah kan, output keep increasing when we add labor, but the cost of using this will become constant, sama, dia tidak akan berubah. So kalau awak lah kan sewa rumah, for example, bulan ni tuan rumah bagi sewa 500, lepas tu bulan depan dia naikkan kepada 600, bulan depan lagi sekali dia naikkan kepada 700. Apa yang awak rasa? You akan rasa unfair lah kan. You akan cari rumah baru. Macam tu lah, macam fixed input ni lah, dia tak boleh berubah lah, sebab dia cuma ada satu penggunaan fixed input tu, nilai dia tetap. That's why cost dia akan jadi tetap. Tapi bear in mind, fixed input sentiasa wujud kan, kecuali kalau kita tutup bisnes kita. So when this always existed, fixed cost pun akan always existed. Even though for example macam sekarang ni kan, MCO, kita tutup perjalanan kedai kita, for example macam kedai makan kan, dia hire pekerja upah gaji hari. So of course pekerja dia tak bayar. Tapi kalau kedai tu disewa, sementara dia tutup sempena 2 minggu MCO ni, adakah dia tak boleh bayar sewa? Sewa tetap berjalan kan, jadinya fixed cost will always existed even though your output become zero, walaupun you tidak menghasilkan barangan, kecuali lah kalau you go out from the business, you bankrupt ke, you dah mana berhenti bentuk berniaga. Okay, meanwhile for the other input, which is the labor here, okay, because this is a variable input, that's why the cost of using this input kita akan panggil variable cost. Dia akan berubah-ubah lah, sebab labor kita tak akan upah sekaligus ramai-ramai 10 orang and so on, right? We will start with one labor. For example, kalau kedai makan kan, seorang labor kita upah sehari 50. Kalau ada 2 labor akan jadi 100. Tapi depending on the types of labor that we hire. So inside a business, kita bukan upah pelayan kedai je, kita akan upah tukang masak, tukang buat air. So gaji diorang tak sama, gaji pelayan dengan gaji tukang masak lain. So kita tak boleh expect upah yang ketiga dia akan naik jadi RM 150. It may be changes sebab yang ketiga yang diupah tu kemungkinan bukan pelayan yang gaji dia 50. Mungkin yang ketiga ni adalah tukang masak, gaji dia 250. So bertambahlah 250. So kat sini akan jadi 350. So maksud saya di sini, kenaikan variable cost ni dia tidak semestinya konsisten, naik 50, 50, 50, 50, tak. It depends on the types of labor that we are hiring. Okay, hopefully you nampak, nanti kita buat calculation will be very clear for you. While in the long run, because both input are variable, tidak berubah, that's why the cost will be variable cost only. Meaning that in the long run there will be no fixed costs. So it is very easy for you to identify whether it is a long run or a short run depending on the types of cost available in the table. Tapi bear in mind, for example dia keluar table kan, table macam ni kalau calculation dia suruh awak calculate, dia ada banyak jenis cost, nanti I will explain one by one. Banyak benda yang kita kena calculate here. Dia tak akan jadi fixed cost long run, sebab long run dia punya measurement bukan by calculation. Sebab long run tu both costs are variable cost, that's why it's not feasible to be calculated lah. So kalau yang table-table banyak-banyak macam tu, dia lebih kepada short run punya table. Okay, alright. Short run is a combination of at least one fixed input and one variable input. Therefore, the cost incurred consists of the fixed cost and variable cost. Sebab short run, FQ equals to K and L. The K with hat meaning that this is fixed input. Okay, while L is variable input, so the cost here will be fixed cost and the cost here will be variable cost. Jangan fikir rumit, it's very simple actually. Okay, so we will focus first with the short run cost. Okay, long run cost nanti kita akan belajar. Kita tak akan belajar calculation untuk long run cost, dia lebih kepada construction of diagram. Okay, short run ada 7 jenis cost, which is the first one total fixed cost. You akan ambil huruf yang kat depan ni, okay, combine it will become TFC. Ini adalah short form yang kita akan pakai. TFC stand for total fixed cost. This one total variable cost, this one is total cost, ni average fixed cost, average variable cost, average cost dan juga marginal cost. Bear in mind, average cost ni kadang-kadang dia buat jadi average total cost. So nama lain dia akan jadi ATC. Basically AC and ATC is the same thing. Okay, kalau you rasa macam banyaknya medium, penatnya nak hafal, tak perlu risau. Sebab apa, benda ni once you faham, you tak perlu hafal pun. Okay, kita tengok awal-awal As you can see here, from the 7 types of cost, kita akan belajar yang ni dulu 3, and then baru you akan belajar yang ini 4. Dia kena asingkan supaya mudah untuk you brain all the formula there. Okay, kita untuk yang total ni kita sekalikan dari segi explanation. Untuk average dan juga marginal ada satu ni, kita akan sekalikan untuk explanation. Same goes with the diagram. Untuk total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost ni dia akan satu diagram. 3 ni average variable, average fixed, average cost dan juga marginal cost, dia akan jadi satu diagram. Okay, first of all kita pergi kepada 3 ni dulu, total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost. Okay, first kita pergi kepada total fixed cost. Okay, yang ni sama juga tadi yang saya kata, bila kita ada satu input yang fix, which is dalam example kita tadi capital dan juga labor, which is capital ni lah fixed input kan. So hasil penggunaan fixed input ni akan menghasilkan fixed cost. So fixed cost ni lah, ini adalah total fixed cost, nilai fixed cost yang tetap. Maksudnya kesemuanya, keseluruhan, dan nilai ni memang konsisten dan sama. So apa maksud dia? Cost that does not vary as output varies, and that must be paid even the output is equals to 0. Like I told you, total fixed cost akan hilang dan tidak wujud cuma bila kita bankrupt and goes out of the business. If we still in the business, even though we did not produce any output and quantity ni lah, quantity kat sini, quantity barangan tidak dihasilkan sebab kita cutikan pekerja sementara MCO ni, PAP lah. Jadinya still kita ada cost yang kena kita bayar, which is the sewa of our kedai, dan juga kos api, elektrik, semua tu jalan juga kan. Okay, the cost of input that is independent of output, maksudnya independent ni tidak bergantung kepada output lah, sebab sekarang ni output dia berubah. For example, output berubah kan, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 quantity lah, output quantity is the same thing Okay, untuk fixed cost nilai dia tetap akan sama. Kalau dia asal dengan 100, masa hasil 100 kedua pun satu barang pun 100, hasil 3 barang pun 100, hasil 4 barang pun akan 100, hasil 5 barang pun 100 dan seterusnya. Itu yang kita maksudkan yang fixed cost. The value does not change. Macam saya kata tadi, untuk dia sewa tu kan, sewa kita tidak akan berubah. There will be no relationship with output. So how to draw this diagram? Basically it's simple because the value is the same. So diagram dia adalah hubung kait antara fixed cost, kat sini akan jadi total fixed cost, kat sini adalah output. So memandangkan output ni 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the nilai of fixed cost, contohnya kalau kita ambil kat sini, fixed cost is 100. Okay, it's always 100 kan. Masa 1 pun 100, masa 2 pun 100, masa 3 pun 100, 4 pun 100. So bila kita sambungkan titik yang kita plotting, kita dapat a straight line. Ini kita panggil horizontal straight line. Itu adalah, jangan lupa labelkan, ini adalah total fixed cost. So kalau ada student kata kat saya tak pandai lah madam nak draw fixed cost, janganlah macam tu ya, because if you understand the concept, it is very simple basically. Kalau dia kata fixed cost dia 500, kat sini tukar je lah figure jadi 500, because every time the output changes, the value is always consistent, always the same. Biasanya dia tak suruh awak pakai kertas graf, dia akan suruh sketch sahaja. So kalau sketch, you don't need this thing, you just need to end up with this sahaja. TFC adalah straight line, so letak quantity kat sini, TFC. Saya buat cantik sikit ya, straight je, TFC. Sorry lah ya, saya bila withdraw using the computer, it is not the same like withdraw pakai real life okay, macam tu lah. So macam ni je, you tak payah pun letak berapa nilai dan berapa kat sini. Kalau ini adalah, kalau disuruh sketch. Okay, fixed cost done. Satu beres. Okay, next we go for the second one, which is variable cost. The cost that are zero when output equals to zero. Ingat variable cost adalah cost kepada input yang berubah, variable input. And contoh variable input in production adalah labor ataupun raw materials. Sebab dia akan berubah-ubah mengikut berapa yang kita nak hire, berapa kita nak beli, berapa kita nak hasilkan, right? So kalau seorang labor upah 50, dua orang dia akan naik ke 100, depending on the type of labor kan. So tapi bila kita tidak upah labor, meaning that if for example at that time labor is equals to zero, so bila no labor been hired, labor ni adalah variable input. What happened to the variable cost? It will become zero. No labor, no need to pay. One labor, the payment is 50. Two labor, the payment is 80. Contohnya, three labor, the payment is 150. Dia tak akan naik dengan sekata as I mentioned before, because we have different types of labor and different range of payment. Kalau dalam satu organisasi, bukan semua orang gaji sama. For example, kalau bos dengan kuli gaji sama, siapa nak jadi bos kan? So, logical dia macam tu. And then, kalau in terms of drawing, okay, sekejap kat sini, the cost of input that changes with output. Meaning that as output changes, bila seorang labor, output dia akan, kalau zero labor, meaning that no output being produced, seorang labor dia boleh hasilkan 15 barang. Bila upah dua labor, dia boleh hasilkan 30 barang. Kenapa berbeza tak naik? Sekejap, saya bagi lain sikit. Dia boleh hasilkan 32 barang dengan dua labor. Dia bukan naik sekata 15. Sebab apa? Like I mentioned before, dalam production, setiap labor production capability dia pun berbeza, dia tak sama. Bukan semua orang pandai menghasilkan barang dengan jumlah yang sama pada setiap bulan. Okay, sebab itu adalah capability team masing-masing. Okay, so as output changes, this cost will also changes. Bila output berubah tu bermaksud we are hiring one more labor. 4 lah. So bila hire more labor, output pun akan makin bertambah. Ni maybe akan jadi 45, ni jadi 56, contoh dia kan. Okay, so bila 4 labor, naiklah lagi cost. Okay, in terms of the diagram, you need to draw TVC. Dan dia tak perlu tulis panjang dia, just short form dia saja, total variable cost. Kat sini output ataupun quantity, the same thing. Okay, dia kata cost that are zero and output equals to zero, meaning that dia start dari sini dan kosong. And as time goes by, dia akan meningkat as output meningkat, because bila output meningkat, meaning that we are hiring more labor kan. So nilai dia akan meningkat juga. Dia macam itu. Okay, dia tak akan jadi straight macam ni tau. Kalau straight macam ni, maksudnya dia naik sekata. Seorang labor 50, dua orang labor 100, tiga orang labor 150, macam gitu. Tapi I already mentioned you, there are different types of labor in the business, right? So dia tak semestinya kadar upah ni sama 50. Okay, depends on the type of labor that we hire. So jadinya diagram dia bukan straight, dia naik ke atas macam tak je, bukan supply curve kan. Tapi selalu student salah faham bila dia draw TVC, dia straight je naik ke atas, bukan macam tu So the drawing is basically, okay, quantity ataupun output TVC from the origin, buat dia meningkat macam gitulah. Macam gitulah, boleh lah. Tapi jangan straight saja, macam gitulah. Okay, ni rupa dia. Dia macam a bit of S lah. Okay, done this one. Next, we go for total cost. Total cost is the sum of fixed cost, which is total fixed cost, and total variable cost, TVC. The sum maksudnya hasil tambah. Bila fixed cost campur dengan variable cost, kita akan dapat total cost. Maksud total cost ni cost keseluruhan. Dah kalau dalam production, you use two types of input kan, capital dan labor. Capital ni fixed, sorry, the capital is fixed, maksudnya the cost associated with the using of capital adalah fixed cost. Kalau labor adalah variable, so cost dia adalah variable cost. So kalau soalan tanya berapakah total cost untuk penghasilan output ni, it's basically total fixed cost tambah total variable cost, TVFC plus TVC. You akan dapat nilai TC. As simple as that. So saya tak faham bila student kata it's too much, madam, I cannot memorize the formula. You don't need to memorize the formula, you just need to understand them. Automatically the formula will come to you. Are you okay? You will be fine, no worries. Okay, total cost will not start from zero as total fixed cost has incurred. Ingat dalam nilai total cost ada nilai total fixed cost. Tadi kita bagi tahu total fixed cost must be paid even when the output equals to zero, meaning that nilai dia walaupun output kosong, nilai dia ada 500 kat sini. You still need to pay your saver walaupun you tidak menghasilkan apa-apa. Okay, so dalam total cost ada nilai fixed cost. For example, fixed cost equals to 500, tapi masa tu kita tak upah labor, variable cost equals to zero. What happened to total cost? Total cost still ada nilai which is 500. So when you want to draw total cost, okay, you cannot start from the origin, from the zero, sebab nilai total cost akan ada nilai walaupun kita tidak menghasilkan barangan, sebab dalam total cost there are the value of fixed cost there. Okay, right? So how to draw total cost? Total cost is basically the same shape with total variable cost. So basically the drawing is, you just need to know where is the total fixed cost start, okay, and then you just draw it. This is TC. Sama tak saya katakan macam rupa TVC, ni saya lupa nak label. Make sure every time you draw you label, or else you tak dapat markah. Okay, don't forget to label everything, the axis and also the curve that you are drawing. Okay, are you okay with that? So here TC is basically the same shape as TVC, meaning that TVC start from here, TVC, okay, and TFC is here. This is the combination of all causes yang total TFC, TVC, TC. Ni quantity ataupun output on the same diagram. Are you okay with that? Alright, so this one, so kita ke IV dulu. Saya cuma nak suruh you concentrate with this one, so ini dah faham. Okay, so in terms of calculation, after you have known the how to calculate TC, or automatically from this, the same formula, you can produce the formula for TFC and also TVC. It's basically as simple as, if you have TC equals to TFC plus TVC, kalau you nak cari TFC, you bawa ni ke sini kan. Nilai TFC is basically TC minus TVC. Bila tambah bawa ke sini, dia akan jadi tolak. While kalau you nak cari TVC is basically TC minus TFC. Okay, hopefully you are okay with that. As simple as that. Tukar tempat duduk. Jadi maths biasa sahaja. You tak boleh kata I'm very weak in mathematics, because this is only a normal maths. If you want to find this one, you bawa ini ke sini. Ini bila tambah, bila bagi ke sini, dia akan jadi TC minus tolak TVC. Kalau you nak cari yang ni pula, ini kita assume kat simbol depan ni mestilah tambah kan, sebab dia tak ada negatif kan. Okay, so nak tinggal yang ni nak datang ke sini, dia akan jadi tolak bawa ke sini, TC tolak TFC. You akan dapat nilai TVC. Ini yang akan dapat nilai TFC. As simple as that. Okay, so ada lagi steps kat sini. The total cost will initially increase at a decreasing rate due to the law of diminishing return. So tak apalah, ini abaikan. Okay, so I have a summary yang saya memang dah cantikkan dah dia. Tak apa, before we go there, so ingat dia macam ni rupa drawing dia. Okay, this is the sample. Simple ni. Kalau you suruh nenek you pun boleh kira. This is the formula. They ask you to fill out for the TC. So, it's a matter of adding. Tambah je lah. Okay, 100, 150, 180, 205, 120. Kalau you rasa macam lambat lah tambah medium, pakai calculator. And then in terms of the illustration here, what should you do is you should draw the same drawing. Okay. Even though the question is different, tak sama macam yang mula-mula kita test tadi 100 kan, the drawing will always be the same. Macam AP, TP, MP tu yang kita belajar masa production. So ingat dia akan start dengan TFC dulu drawing dia, lepas tu TVC, and then last kali baru TC. Kat sini quantity or output. Okay, so TFC start. Tadi berapa kita punya ni? TFC adalah 100. Nilai dia tetap je kan? So here it will be 100. Alright. Dan lupa labelkan dia TFC. And then TVC. TVC, they akan start from the origin. As you can see here, look at here. I already mentioned it to you kan. Dia tak naik sekata kan. Dia lepas 50, naik 100. Tak terus naik 150. Nilai dia naik dia akan berbeza because they are hiring different types of labor. And dia punya wages ataupun income dia berbeza. Okay. So, dia akan start from the origin. Why? Sebab bila you do not hire any labor, output kosong ni maksudnya tak ada labor lah ni. Nilai output ni bergantung kepada labor. Okay, output kosong means that you don't hire any labor. So, it start from 0 and then start to rise. Tapi dia tak naik dengan sekata. So, what happened there? It start from the origin and start to increase. Just macam tu lah. Kalau you rasa macam nampak je straight je medium, kalau you rasa nampak macam straight je, kita delete lah, buat balik. Susah kan? Kita cuba sedaya upaya make it orang kata macam itulah kot. Adjust lah you all dah besar dah pandai draw masing-masing, tapi janganlah nampak macam dia naik sekata macam kita hasil plus minus. And last kali kita akan buat drawing TC. Look at TC. Value will not start from 0 sebab dalam TC ada nilai TFC dan value dia adalah sangat besar compare kepada TVC. Nilai dia lagi besar kan, ni 50, ni 100.5, ni 80, ni 180, meaning that the curve will be above TVC. Dan saya kata TC akan follow the shape of TVC. Okay, so here what should we do is we just draw up there the same shape and make sure you label this one TC, this one TVC. Macam tu lah, dia tak akan start from 0, dia akan start daripada nilai TFC. As simple as that. It's not that hard. Okay. So I'll stop here. I'll continue about the other 4 types of course, average, non-marginal in my next teaching video.